Okay, the lead lines for The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. These are surprisingly difficult. Even though they sound simple, you need to be very precise with the sounds, with the picking, and they're quite tight. So a bit of practice required just to get them sounding as neat as possible, I guess. We'll start with the opening line, which is the whistle line everybody knows. We're going to play it from the 10th fret of B and the 10th fret of E. And it's going to be like this. So it's just B string, E string. So I'm just going down, up, down, up, down. Hard to get them clean and quick. From there, 10th fret of G, 8th fret of B, and 7th fret of G. First part sounds like this. Second line starts the same on the 10th fret of B and E, 10th fret of G, and now 8th fret of B, 8th fret of E. So second line sounds like this. The third line sounds like this. It's again starts the same, 10th fret of B, 10th fret of E, 10th fret of G, 9th fret of G, now D 12 10. So far we've got this. And the very last one starts the same, but now we're going to slide on the G from 10 to 12, and then 12th of the D on top. So the last one, slide on the G, and on the D. So the whole thing sounds like this. Last one. See if you can play along with that speed first, and once you get it clean, then try and rev up your speed to where it actually belongs. It's quite a bit quicker. That's the main section. So once you've got that, we'll call it the verse section. Once you've got that verse section down, that doesn't change. That's the part. Okay, section 2. This is a little bit tricky as well. It's pretty much an F chord. So think about forming an F chord here in the first position. But instead of playing the F note here with our third finger, which is 3rd fret of D, we're going to start by lifting it off. And we're going to play, the string's going to be this. Open A, open D, G, but then come back to the D string and put your F note back on, so 3rd fret of D. So it sounds like this. I think that's the tricky part of it. With the picking part, I'm going like this. Down, down, up, down. I find that to be the most accurate way for me to play it. And then we're going to upstroke the B string. Sounds like this. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 3, 4, 1, 2. The third time, so it does that twice. The third time around, it's going to go a couple of extra notes on the end, like this. Now G, open E, and then back to the B string, and then pinky down on the 3rd fret of the E string. So the whole thing sounds like this so far. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Once you've got that, we're going to hit the 5th fret of the E string, which is an A note, and that's that whole first part done. Okay, the next section is going to start at a normal pace and they double up in speed. So it's going to sound like this. Pull off on the first fret of E, then third fret of B, and then third fret of E, then back to third fret of B, and then start again. Full first fret, pull off of E, third fret B, third fret E. And the rhythm's going to go like this. Doubles up in speed. So 2 lots of that. Then it's going to go into a run like this. First fret of E, open. B string, third fret. B string, first fret. B string, open. G string at the second fret. G string, open. D string at the third fret. Second fret. It sounds like this. And then we're going to slide at the end on the D string, 5th to 7th. And to finish it all off, on the D string, do a little hammer on from the 2nd to the 3rd, back to the 2nd, and then open. So that whole section sounds like this. Double up, run. And that's a little harmony line we've got going on. So after that section is the solo, and the solo is based off of the whistle line. So it's all using all those notes from that solo line. So we're going to go first line. It's going to be a slide on the B string from the 8th fret to the 10th fret, but we're going to hold the note on the 8th fret a little bit longer like this. So we kind of pause a little bit on the 8th fret, then slide in. Now 10th fret to the 10th fret of B. Now 10th fret of E, back to 10th fret of B, 8th fret of B, and 7th fret of G. So first line sounds like this. Second line, same thing, starts on the 8th fret of B and slides to the 10th fret, but this time it doesn't hang around on the 8th fret, it just goes straight there. Then back to the 8th fret of B. Now 10th fret of G to 9th fret of G. So that sounds like this. Okay, so first 2 lines. The third line just hits the 10th fret, no slide, straight to the 10th fret. Slightly longer pause, then we're going to go 10, 9 of G. Hammer on 9, 10 of G. Slide up to 12th of G. And 12th of D for the end. Sounds like this. 3, 4. Alright, so that's the whole solo. It repeats those 3 lines twice, and that's the solo. So it sounds like this. And it does that twice, that whole lot. Alright, that's pretty much the whole song. So after you finish the solo, it goes back into this section again. At the very end, you remember this line from the middle of the song. It's going to do that, so that's 2nd fret of D to hammering onto the 3rd fret of D, back to 2nd fret of D, open, it's going to do exactly the same line, but now we're going to have a little harmony at the end. It's going to come up to the 9th fret of G and 10th fret of G, back to the 9th fret of G, and then 7th fret of G. So it sounds like this. There's actually a third guitar as well, so you could choose, if you wanted to play that line on the G as your high part, you could choose that one or this one, B string at the 8th fret. I'm going to hammer onto the 10th fret of B, back to the 8th fret of B, and then 7th fret of G. So it sounds like this. You can choose which one of those high ones you like, but if some people are doing the G one and some people are doing the B one, it will sound cool because it's a 3-part harmony. And that's all the lead parts for The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. They're harder than they look, so maybe spend a bit of time, don't get too discouraged if you're not hitting them perfectly. Once you've got them, there'll be a demo at the bottom of the screen here, which you can test yourself against and see if you can nail all of the lead lines in time with that recording. Enjoy!